Yeah, I mean, good morning, guys. Looking forward to getting back into action. It's been a bit stop-start in terms of the rhythm of our play with the League's Cup break, and then we came back, played against St. Louis. Against St. Louis, I'd say we were probably a little bit rusty. Both teams were. You've seen some strange results in the first 2 weeks. The Seattle performance, I thought, was probably one of our best of the season in terms of our defensive shape, the defending of set plays, and we're going to need that tomorrow against a team that I think is probably one of the teams of the seasons, against a coach that I think is probably one of the coach of the year candidates in Chris Armas. I think he's done an amazing job. It's an incredibly difficult game. We've got two games in altitude this week, which is going to be a test. But we're looking forward to the 3 game weeks. I think we've trained a lot. I think the boys have trained well. They've had some rest. They've trained hard, and the boys are back from international, all fit and well. We've got slight doubts with a couple of players, but I think we should have near enough full fit squad, and we're looking forward to probably one of the most pivotal weeks of the season for all teams in the MLS, and I think it's exciting. I think we're coming now to the probably the last 100 metres of the race, and as they say, we're in it to win it, and we're in it to challenge. We're in it. We're excited, and we just want to get playing again, and everyone's excited.
In the 2 games against Colorado this year, you scored 4 goals each time. Obviously, they were about 6 months apart. How was success achieved differently the first time against Colorado versus the second time?
Yeah, I mean, we've watched both of those games this week, and they could easily scored four goals as well. I don't think the scoreline probably does a justice. Maybe in the second game it does. In the first game it wasn't a 4-0, 4-1 scoreline. It could have been 4-3, 4-4. This game is going to be totally different. They obviously we've done well against them. We've scored 8 goals against them, but this is a game in Colorado, in altitude. They're brilliant at home. Their home record is probably why they're in 4th position, and I'd say that this is a game where, if we get the right result, we can probably start thinking about catching them. If they get the right result, they're probably putting us to bed in terms of the chase for sort of like catching them. So I'd say I look at all the fixtures this week. Everybody seems to be playing each other in terms of the top 4 and maybe the playoff positions. And I say this is why you get in football. This is why you get out of bed in the morning for games like this week's going to be. It's going to be a magical week, I'm sure.
As it pertains to Colorado at home, you can talk probably about every team in the league being different away from home
versus
at home. What, in your mind and what you see on film, makes them different at home?
Well, I mean, they score an incredible amount of goals late on. I've watched a lot of them. Their spirit, their togetherness, their fight to the end is probably similar to ours, but they've scored a lot of goals. They get a lot of penalties. I think they've had 8 penalties this season. So that's something. They're really quick on transition. I think transitional wise, we're going to have to be in a really good shape. And I think it's like a story of most teams in the MLS. Their home form is the reason why they are where they are, and probably our away form is the reason why we are where we are. And we're going to have to be really good in September away from home. We've got 3 out of 4 away. Vancouver, Salt Lake, and Colorado away. All 3 teams are teams that are in and around us, and we're going to have to produce. We're going to have to produce performances. We're going to have to produce performances to get us points. Because if we don't get points, we'll be dropping down. It's tight. The results last weekend when nobody played, some went for us. There was one result in Columbus that was a freak result in my opinion. Didn't seem right, but it went against us. But that's going to be what it's like from now to the end of the season.
So you've talked about this week and how important this week is for both the team and the rest of the league. What has been the message to the players, especially after coming back in after having a week off with no game?
Well, I think today's the first time we've had everyone with us. The Canadians, Miguel Arajo's been away. Finn was away, so today's the first day we've got everyone with us. Last week we kept it short and sharp, and we just kept the energy in the group. This week we focused more on tactical, And like I say, like most teams, probably tomorrow's the first day we will probably have as a whole team together. So I think the one word we've been really emphasizing this week is focus. You know, we're in a good position. We're not in a great position. We're in a good position to attack the last few games, and like I say, we're going to have to really, really show the qualities we did against Seattle to get points on the road. And I'm just incredibly excited about the next 7 games. I think it'll show. I think I want my team to show the spirit, the togetherness, the quality, the work that we've been putting in. And I'd say that now is where you earn your money. I really feel that. I think when I first joined the MLS, Bruce Arena, a good friend of mine who's been a brilliant mentor for me, said to me, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And what he meant is that now's the time that you've got to play well. And I think you'll see some really good results, some results that will shock you from everybody. You know, and everybody's looking at what it will take to get you in the playoffs. You think it's 6 points, it might be 8 points. Some teams might only need 3 points. And I think you'll see some good results.
Phil, I have a couple. When it comes to managing altitude, you guys do anything different, or it's just about being fit and facing the adversity there?
Well, I think I've played in altitude in Salt Lake, and I've got to say I've played twice in Salt Lake, and probably my worst experiences on a football field were in Salt Lake, like physically. I came off after one game. I think Everton played the MLS All-Stars, and I think I need to quit football. I was just well short, and that was altitude. So I think the biggest things I learned as a player and now moving into coaching is that you're not going to feel like you do playing at Providence Park or maybe in Columbus. There's going to be an effect in your breathing, in probably the way that you feel during the game. I was coaching Miami for 2.5 years. The humidity down there was different than what it is here. You know, you just got to accept that you're not going to feel 1,000%. We've got experience at it. There's lots of players here played in altitude. I think Miguel Arajo's just come back from a game in altitude, so he's got good experience at it. He knows what it's like. He knows in the first 15 minutes you're going to be probably out of breath, panting a little bit, but it's not an excuse. We know what we've got to do. We've got 2 tough games against 2 really good teams, and sandwiched in between there is a game against the Galaxy in Providence Park. That again, I think it'll be a magical evening.
Yeah. Okay. With 3 games in a week.
Yeah.
Looking at the whole picture, what's more important, the load of the players during training or rotations to maintain a fresh squad?
Well, I think if we was talking in April and March, I'd say that there'd be definitely rotations in all 3 games. I think when there's 7 games to go, you just go for it. And I'd say that you take each game as it comes. You know that you've got a plan for scenarios, but I think you come out of Colorado and see how the boys are freshness-wise. Then you go to Galaxy, and then you don't think about the 3rd game really until Thursday morning. On Thursday morning, you get the boys in, you take stock, you speak to them, you see how they feel, and there will be freshness, has to be freshness throughout the lineups through the whole week. There are players that can play 3 games in a week. There are players that probably can play 2 out of the 3, and there are a group of players that are going to have to be needed off the bench in every single game. I've said to them this morning that every single one of them has to be ready to play. Every single one of them. We've got I think 2 players on a yellow card accumulation if they get one more. So opportunity will knock for certain people. And like I say, at this stage of the season, I don't think any player in that dressing room wants to be rested. So we'll take it from there.
So at the start of the press conference, you mentioned some injury doubt. Can you kind of detail on who that is and when those injuries occurred?
Yeah. You saw this morning that Pipe Mora, Claudio Bravo didn't train, David Ayala didn't train this morning. Claudio's probably the one that's 50-50 out of them all. The other 2 should be okay. David never trains probably on this day most weeks, as you know. So he's been unbelievable the last 2 weeks in training. Pipe took a knock in training the other day. Today was just a precaution. Claudio, I'd say, got a kick in the last game against Seattle later on in the game, and has trained, but today was just a precautionary measure just to leave him out of the training today.
We'll wrap it there. Thank you, Phil.
Nice, thank you. Who's in next? Miguel Arajo?